Well, here we are, the first pickup of 2022, which is kind of funny because this is actually the pickups I've gotten for December 2021. But as I'm recording this, it is now January 1st, so Happy New Year to everybody who is watching this. Surprisingly, December was a pretty good month for pickups. I actually managed to get some older retro games here, which I'm excited about. And yeah, some modern stuff as well, and some unusual stuff that I usually don't pick up. So we're going to jump right into some more of the modern stuff. First, of course, we're going to start off with the PlayStation Vita because why not, right? This is what I do on this channel, a lot of Vita stuff. But anyway, we're going to jump right in with some manuals. Too Old for Gaming once more did a set 3 of 5 PlayStation Vita manuals for games that never originally had manuals. And he's been doing this for a while now. He's the only one who's actually doing these unique manuals for games that I know of. But I'm super excited how it kind of gives that more complete feel for him. As you can see, I actually have them in my hand right now. In fact, I'll show off this first one, which is for Odin Sphere. This one never got a manual for the PS4 either, as far as I recall. But that's super fun. I love like these little shadow outlines of it. Then we also have Freedom Wars, which sadly, just before Christmas, ended its online capabilities. The servers are now shut down. It was the only way to actually get the platinum for this, so I did not have time to jump into that, so I will not be able to finish this game, unfortunately, but the solo game is still pretty fun, even though with playing it online is far better, especially to level up and get some of those years off of your sentence for this game. So, but that's a super fun game, especially since it's exclusive to the Vita still. This is a more unique one. We have Final Fantasy X2, and then on the other side we have Final Fantasy X, which is kind of nice because here in the West, they both games came on a single disc or cartridge across all platforms, basically, including the PlayStation Vita. In Japan, they came separately, so X and X2. But this will probably go on my Western release one. I do have X2 Japanese version, or Asian English, I guess, because it does support English on it. But I thought that was pretty cool, so that'll go into that one. Fourth one, we have Darkest Dungeon, which we never really got here as a retail version. This, for me, was actually a European or PAL release that I have for this. I believe through Red Art Games or Strictly Limited. I can't recall. It was one of those out of ones that I had to actually import, and I got it on a sale, actually. So that was kind of neat. I have not actually played this game yet. And then lastly, we have Soul Sacrifice, another game I still have yet to play, which also, its servers also went down around the same time that Freedom Wars did. So another game I won't be able to platinum, but I will eventually get around to checking this game out for sure. I hear it's actually pretty good. Also a exclusive to the PlayStation Vita here in the West. And then on to the games. I managed to pick up a Asian English version of Moe Chronicles. This one I actually slept on. I missed out. This has long been sold out on Play Asia. This has English subtitles in it, even though the rest of the spoken language is in Japanese. This actually has a reversible cover. I have it reversed to the English side. The other side is all in Japanese. But this is one that I always meant to pick up because I was like, I don't know. But there's a lot of controversy about this game because of plot, I guess, and some things that you do with the touchscreen to punish the girls, or train them, I guess, to level them up. It's kind of an interesting mechanic. I haven't played it yet, but kind of unique. Then I ended up picking up a copy of Persona 5, Dancing All Night, or Dancing Star Night, I should say. We did get this on PlayStation 4 in a compilation of Persona 3, 4, and 5. 4, unfortunately, on the PlayStation 4 was digital only, whereas it was physical on the Vita. But I figured I'd pick this up. It went on clearance almost, or kind of what I would consider clearance on Play Asia. I may pick up 3. I'm not sure yet. But I really enjoyed the game, and I felt it was more comfortable playing it on the Vita. That's why I ended up grabbing that, even though it was kind of redundant. I try to not get Vita games that I already have on the PlayStation 4, unless it's like a special reason like Gravity Rush, where they did change and enhance some stuff on that for the PlayStation 4. Then we have one of the last releases from Play Asia. This is a compilation of Just Ignore Them and My Big Sister collection. These are two horror games that are done in like an 8-bit and 16-bit style. These are unusual. Horror games on the Vita 2 are kind of hard to come by, especially since even this one sold out pretty fast too. But we don't have compilations very often either. There's a third game kind of in that series too, which a lot of people have mentioned that they wished was part of, but it is not. It's digital only, even though it is still available on the store. Moving on to Switch. Console, again, that for whatever reason I keep picking up games for it. I don't know why. I don't play it all that much, but these two games I had a reason to get, and that was for Danganronpa Decadence? Yeah, Decadence, which includes Danganronpa 1, 2, and 3, as well as a unique game not released, and I forgot what the heck it was called, Ultimate Summer Camp, which was not released on the PlayStation Vita, so that was the reason for me picking this up. Even though I've already played through the first two games, the third one is on dock to play for the Vita, which I'm surprised they didn't include Ultra Despair Girls. So that's one game that the PlayStation 4 and Vita have that the Switch has not received yet. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going to release that later, or what they're doing with that, or if they're not going to release it at all. Honestly, I really enjoyed Ultra Despair Girls, even though it was a departure from the visual novel Whodunit, Ace Attorney type clone. It was more of a third-person shooter puzzle game. I enjoyed those a lot more than that. And then a game that most people seem to have picked up in December just because it got so cheap, but I do love my shooters, and I got Darius GHD. Not an easy game, but I do like collecting shoot-em-ups, or shmups, or however you want to call them, so I had to grab that, especially since the price was just absurd, especially since shooters tend to go up in price later on, and I kind of want to grab them when I can. Moving on to some more retro things, I actually picked up a Sega Saturn game, but it's a Japanese release. Although this game is called Vatlava, V-A-T-L-V-A? Yeah, V-A-T-L-V-A. You can actually see it right there, upside down. Vatlava is how it's pronounced. But I saw this guy was streaming this on Twitch, and I never really heard of it. But what was unique was that it's released by Victor and JVC, as you can see there on the cover, and it is a vehicular combat arena game that you can actually play with up to 6 players. So it's kind of unique on the Saturn. We never got this here in the West. Navigating through the menus takes some getting used to, but the game itself, I mean, you get to choose from 6 or 7 different characters that have different vehicles and different weapons, and you basically just go around. It's kind of like a Twisted Metal thing with a top-down view. I ended up streaming it actually on Megavision's channel just a couple weeks ago. Had a blast with it, and the soundtrack's kind of rocking too. There's a couple songs on there just total headbangers. But if you're into Saturn stuff, that's definitely one game you want to check out. Then I ended up picking up Sakura Wars 3. I've been on a Sakura Wars kick lately. I really enjoyed the ones that we got here in the West that were on the PlayStation 2, and the Tyson reboot series that happened on the PlayStation 4. This has a complete translated walkthrough, so I'll be able to actually go through this game. This is more of your strategy RPG with a dating sim included in it, which were unique. I'm really surprised, well, sort of, that Sega never really brought this over for us in the West. And we're slowly getting some, but they don't seem to sell all that well here, from what I understand, which is sad because these games are kind of fun. This game, kind of a story. This is Love Hina Smile Again, another unique one for the Dreamcast because it comes in this big box. So this is the actual retail release. I want to say this was only available in a special edition, and I don't recall. Yeah, it's just on one disc, and it has a manual inside of it, which is huge. I don't know why this is a later release in Dreamcast, which some of them came in these big boxes like this. So, I mean, comparing it to even Sakura Wars, which came in a jewel case, it's kind of unique. So, and this is one that a long time ago was introduced to, that I had as a, I hate to say it was a burned copy, which I've long since got rid of, but now I have an official copy that will run on my Dreamcast, or Japanese Dreamcast. So, this is an adventure game where you play as the main protagonist in the dorm that was an all-girls dorm, and you can go about chatting with them, and then eventually in the end you get to choose one girl to spend the rest of your life with. So it's kind of unique. It's fun. I staggered through it as I recall, but I'll probably end up streaming that one and playing that one a little bit more just for the fun of it. Especially since it's a really cool anime intro where the girls are playing in a band and everything, and it opens up with a little theme song, "Smile Again," but which is the name of the game. Then something else unique I finally picked up. For the longest time, I always wanted one of these, and I finally pulled the trigger, and it's the Striker DC controller for the Dreamcast. I got the blue translucent one. Figured that it would look well with my blue translucent Dreamcast official controller that I have, that I use most of the time when I do play Dreamcast. But I wanted to try these out. I've heard really good things about them. They feel a lot better than the original Dreamcast controller. And over the years, even though I enjoy the Dreamcast, the controller's probably the worst thing about it. And hopefully that'll fix this, make it feel more comfortable, like a more modern console. We'll see how that goes. Then finally, probably the big thing that I ended up doing for December was I traded in my original, well, I shouldn't say original, but my Xbox One X. Decided it was time to upgrade, seeing that I had it for a good 6 years. There was no real need to, honestly, but the fact that the opportunity to upgrade came about, I jumped on the chance because it's been a year since the new consoles have been released. I don't plan on getting a PlayStation 5 just yet. That one I'm still holding off on, just because there's no real games on it that have really caught my eye that I couldn't play on the PlayStation 4. But here it is. I got the Xbox Series X. So of course, because it came from GameStop, I traded that in for my Xbox One X. It does run a little faster, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, there's no real difference right now for the dashboard or anything. I kind of hope that Microsoft to get around to updating that and maybe changing that at some point. But yeah, so now I have a Series X for whatever that's worth. And of course, with that, because it was a bundle, because GameStop does this stupid thing where you can't just buy the system, of course, but it came with 3 games. So I got Call of Duty Vanguard, which I may play. I'm not sure. I'm not a huge Call of Duty fan. I'm horrible at first-person shooter games. Definitely not my forte. And then another one that's definitely not my forte, a sports game, NBA 2K22, which, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. I'm not big into any sports games these days. And then, of course, another, because it is a first-person shooter, Far Cry 6. They included the bundle as well. But, yeah. So that was kind of strange. But that was pretty much what I picked for December. There was 5 other games that I got from the blind pack. Well, I wouldn't say blind, but I did a opening where they had a deal of 5 games that I chose, and we got to see if they actually came complete or not. You can check that video out. It's now live. If you haven't yet, something of interest, but those 5 are also included in the December pickups. But that's it for now. As always, appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.